The United States and Iran are set to engage in high-stakes talks over Iran's nuclear program this Saturday in Oman.
What happens on Saturday would, I suppose, determine whether there's more. Right now, this is a meeting that is arranged. It is not part of some larger scheme or framework. It is a meeting to determine whether or not the Iranians are serious. And so that clearly would be the goal of that singular meeting and effort. As far as the arrangements or what the rooms are or who's in which rooms, I don't have that for you, and I'm not going to speculate.
It's the first formal meeting since tensions escalated earlier this year over Tehran's uranium enrichment activities and the Trump administration's maximum pressure campaign.
This is a national security presidential memorandum that seeks to impose maximum pressure on the government of the Islamic Republic of Iran.
So this is one that I'm torn about. Everybody wants me to sign it. I'll do that. It's very tough on Iran. It's what we had before. We would have never had the problem. You would have never had October 7th. We would have never had the problem had the election gone a different way, which it should have.
With military threats looming and diplomacy hanging by a thread, the world is watching. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio confirmed that direct talks with Iran will take place this weekend in Oman. Speaking during a cabinet meeting chaired by President Donald Trump, Rubio said the goal is simple: prevent Iran from ever obtaining a nuclear weapon. The urgency of the talks is driven by intelligence reports that Iran has resumed enriching uranium at levels close to weapons grade, far beyond the limits set under the now-defunct 2015 nuclear deal. Saturday's negotiations will involve U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff and Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. Washington has described the format as direct, while Tehran insists Oman will act as a go-between. President Trump has made no secret of his impatience. In his recent remark, he said that if diplomacy fails, military action is absolutely on the table. U.S. President said that Israel would play a leading role in any confrontation.
But with Iran, if it requires military, we're going to have military. Israel will obviously be very much involved in that. He'll be the leader of that. But nobody leads us. We do what we want to do.
تهدید میکنن که شرارت خواهند کرد. البته اگر شرارتی انجام بگیره ما خیلی اطمینان نداریم. احتمال زیاد نمیدیم که از بیرون شرارتی انجام بگیره. اما اگر شرارتی انجام بگیره قطعاً ضربه متقابل محکم خواهند خورد.
But in Tehran, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei has pushed back. Khamenei vetoed direct talks, citing ongoing U.S. sanctions and hardliner fears that negotiations could be used to undermine the regime.
که رئیس جمهور آمریکا میگه ما آماده هستیم با ایران مذاکره کنیم و دعوت به مذاکره و ادعا میکنه که نامه‌ای فرستاده که البته به ما نرسیده، به من یعنی نرسیده. این به نظر من این فریب افکار عمومی دنیاست. این معناش این است که ما اهل مذاکره ایم، میخوایم مذاکره کنیم، صلح کنیم، دعوا نباشه. ایران حاضر به مذاکره نیست. خب ایران چرا حاضر به مذاکره نیست؟ به خودتون برگردید. ما نشستیم چند سال مذاکره کردیم. همین شخص مذاکره تمام شده، کامل شده، امضا شده رو از میز بیرون انداخت، پاره کرد. با این آدم چجور میشه مذاکره کرد؟
Oman has stepped in as the diplomatic bridge, hosting the talks and attempting to ease the path for progress. Both nations are keeping expectations low. Speaking in Algiers, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said the form of the talks, direct or indirect, is less important than the intent. He called the negotiations an opportunity and a test for both sides.
نامه در حقیقت هم بیشتر جنبه تهدید داره ولی فرصت‌هایی رو هم به اصطلاح ادعا میکنه که وجود داره. ما روی زوایای نامه کار کردیم، روی همه نکاتش دقت کردیم و پاسخی که تهیه خواهد شد با در نظر داشت همه این زوایا هست. هر دو بعد تهدید فرصت همه رو خواهیم دید.
Since the U.S. withdrew from the 2015 Iran deal in 2018, efforts to revive diplomacy have faced repeated setbacks.
I am announcing today that we cannot and will not make this certification. We will not continue down a path whose predictable conclusion is more violence, more terror, and the very real threat of Iran's nuclear breakout.
Iran continues to insist that its nuclear ambitions are for peaceful energy production, not weapons, but with Israel warning of unilateral action and U.S. forces on standby in the Gulf, the risk of escalation remains dangerously high. Saturday's meeting in Oman could mark a turning point, or a breaking point. While both Washington and Tehran claim to want peace, the path ahead is filled with distrust, conflicting agendas, and pressure from regional players.